Kendrick Lamar. My words like a sword in the hands of a Spartan marching on Rosecrans and Compton. You can't cause conflict or corrupt my spirit. I'm on point like Pyrrhic. I've been dead and gone before you get near it. Ooh-wee. That boy remind me of a young Martin Luther, the way he beats up troopers and random shooters like Malcolm X did. I stand for what I believe in, as family, God, and honor. From Chicago, my daddy and my mama came to Compton to accomplish one thing, reign supreme, raise a king.
Yeah, it's cool for me to work. I've been taking a break for like 23 years, relaxing. You know, so now it's time for me to man up and you know, really do what I plan on doing.
I never went to the school, but I used to go up there sometime and just woo-woo. You know, I seen him around all the time, and then one day, Dave, they brought him to the studio. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? We met, and then that's how I knew he was real, like, this dude was, like, gifted. It was taking me a minute to write my verse, and it just took this dude, like, 5 minutes. He was like, I'm ready for my verse. He's like, I'm ready. And I'm like, where your pen and pad at? Like, he didn't have no pen, no pad, or nothing.
Before I met J-Rock and K-Dot, I thought I was just the best rapper in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and when I step into the studio and I see that they're working on songs like, you know, arranging music, you know, just it wasn't just all about just the rhyming, which were, you know, where I was at the time. You know, it really was a humbling experience.
He brought me over one day. Beat was on the episode. J-Rock was there. He was like, "You want to rap to this?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll rap to it." It was like the dumbest beat ever. It was just like gunshots, like pa, 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 pa. You know what I'm saying? The revolver spinning. Like it was like a creepy beat, like it wasn't tight. But I thought it was tight at the time. Well, anyway, I go in there, I rap, whatever, weak verse. I mean, we was all pretty much weak then, but I was real weak.
Damn, I'm in a matrix. Mine is living on cloud nine. Nine is still on vacation. Some of them that mine are out of here. Popping pills in the lobby. Crazy, no fun.
I look back on my childhood and I feel like I mean the TRL age, the MTV generation was my I
99 was a good year.
99 was the best year. We actually hate each other. This is just like a facade. Once this is over, we're gonna go into our separate hotel rooms.
And we were the three sisters that made it. I mean, the other sisters in our family.
Obviously aren't here for a reason.
They're not here for a reason.
Approximately 10 years ago, I was called to New York City to come play beats for Jay-Z for his album, the Black Album. Jay comes in and he sits down. I play more beats for him, And he said, look, man, let's just stop for a minute. He said, I got a song called Threat. I have an idea of a sample that I want to use, and I want to see what you can do with it. And he said, I'll be back later. The other thing he asked me to do was to keep the New York bounce. And you know, the New York bounce is really just boom, boom. It's kind of a derivative or a play off of or a descendant of Impeach the President. And so, you know, I gave it the New York bounce. I gave it to the Guru, and he listened to it for a minute, and he went to the booth. He started first, and then he said, all right, let's start over. You know, he was doing ad-libs at the beginning. And then he went back and he said, you know, said all these nines. He said, wish they had 9 lives, 9th wonder. And he said my name, and I turned around and looked at my best friend. My best friend was like, just shook his head like, this just can't be happening.
I mean, if you ain't got a mindset to win, if you happy being second, I can't deal with you. My coaches used to make me play center growing up, and I used to hate that. I always wanted to be a guard. I mean, me still being the biggest kid, you know what I mean, I was just forced to play that position. So what I would do is work on my ball handling nonstop.
You know, when we got the call that he was going to be drafted, we were on a train. He and I were together, and he had this Indiana hat on because he lived in Indiana. He knew Paul's gonna get picked for Indiana.
Anytime I get a chance to play guys like LeBron, you know, it's a chance for me to showcase not only on the defensive end, but on the offensive end as well. You know, so I'm always ready, and I get up, you know, real fast for games like that. Well, before we played Chicago, we played Golden State, and I had 0 that night. I mean, me being competitive, and immediately after we flew back to Indiana, I went into the gym and got 500 shots up. And after that, we flew to Chicago to play Chicago, and I mean, I lit it up. Dream was to make it in the NBA, and you know, the next step was to be an all-star in the NBA.
But he used to tell people like, okay, I'm a rookie right now. By my 3rd year or 4th year, I'm gonna be an all-star. And people used to laugh at him in the locker room, and he made it.
This is where I wanted to be. This is the main stage. And just trying to represent my team well, my city well, and you know what I mean, my gang well.
And you know, just coming out here, it was just like a pleasure, man, because I wanted to see him, like, you know, his first year really make an all-star team. And it's a blessing, man.
He's so humble to the blessing.
We're in the studio with this guy named Zach Fleury, who has played on a couple songs with us. And he kind of played this like bluesy guitar lick, and a lot of the production that I start rapping on turns into something completely different. So it started out as kind of this like bluesy song, and it had this real church southern vibe to it. Wanna miss it for the world, baptized in vices in my bars, the church. Traded my artist and I pawned out the easel, spent it all searching for God at the neon cathedral. I read the Bible, but I forgot the verses. The liquor store is open later than the churches. Purify the imperfections, everything that's burning. To hell with the confessions, all the Lord of mercies. Blessed and holy water, the scent, oh Holy Father. Have you ever smelled flesh that sweats out Monarch vodka? 11 a.m. in the morning and you can't get it off you. Calling to the preacher, but it's like the pastor isn't talking. Until the store opens, I can re-up on that doctrine. The people. I've been drinking alcohol for almost 5 years now, but it's fascinating to me to go back and look at the hold that it had on me and the lack of faith that I had in my life at the time. Wanna miss it for the world, baptized in my vices in the bars, my church. Traded my artist and I pawned out the easel, spent it all searching for God, neon cathedral.
My father was a hustler. He got me and my mother out of the country. He came here with us thinking this was like a land of opportunities. There's no opportunities. When he hustled and came here, he couldn't live like how he lived over there. So when he went back, I was stuck here with my mother and my little brother. I was cold-blooded since I was young. Like, I ain't had no family. My family is my niggas you see around me. I come out the studio, I'm walking like this. All I see is just 2 niggas, hammers on my head. As soon as everybody started moving in on me, everybody ran. So I'm the only one stuck. So I'm stuck. Feel me? Coming to find out, the reason why I got set up was because of somebody I thought my family. It was the same person that set me up that drove me to the hospital. Somebody you bring to your house to meet your mother, and the same person sets you up, gets you shot in the head. It's just the game, it's funny. It's funny how it goes.
Don't bring me you all that. I don't know how to act. First call, don't get you.
So it's like, if I kiss you, you kiss me, like, cause you really like asking, like that part isn't that seductive. It's like, do I kiss you? Do you kiss me? Like you really want to know. Right.
Do you kiss me? Oh my God, this is so crazy.
Go up high. Stronger. Almost. Keep going.
I love this.
All right, hold out. Put down right there.
Okay, cool.
I'm making a mixtape.
Yeah, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. We fucking.
It's a lot easier in a smaller venue to get to feel that energy, you know, and to feel that connection, and just the fact that you can see the whites of people's eyes. And some of these gigs, I mean, the front row have definitely caught some of Simon's spit, you know, and that sort of stuff. You know, that's a real connection there.
I'm a fire and a bird I'm on fire.
I think quite often you hear bands say, oh, the crowd were rubbish, the crowd were really quiet, and it's kind of up to the band to make the crowd have a good time, and you know, the energy is reciprocated. It's a two-way street. It's about the connection between you, and it's not just about what they can do for you or what you can do for them. You've got to be in it together, and that's when the kind of real magic happens, as you say, when you just get that feeling with the audience that nothing could go wrong. It's almost about kind of, you're reaching the end of this shared connection. You want to kind of go, you know, we did it together. I think it feels a little bit like that, a little bit of a triumphant feeling.
I went from being the captain to being the glue guy, being the guy that gets everyone together, then being asked to be the best defender, then also being asked to lead in scoring. You know, for me, it's always a different role. This year, me and Joe making it, you know, I just thought that the city needed it. You know, when Derek got hurt, we lost in the first round of the playoffs, and there was just a lot of negative things being said, and you know, talking about we don't have, you know, certain kind of guys. So for me and Joe to go out there, you know, and be picked by the coaches, it just meant a lot, not, you know, only to our team, but also to, you know, to everything that was being said about us, you know, in the media.
A lot of the stuff that I do, I kind of saw Manute do. When we were living in Egypt, Manute took a vacation to Egypt. And when he went to church, he saw that there's a bunch of young Sudanese kids playing basketball. At the time, that was my older brothers. I wasn't playing at the time. I was about 7. And Manute saw them playing, and he just wanted to teach them the rules. So he extended his stay for the summer and kind of taught them how to play basketball. I would play with my older brothers, and that's how the game started for me. So if it wasn't for Manute, we wouldn't have really known the rules, or we wouldn't have been playing basketball. When sitting there on the table on a draft night with your parents and, you know, you get drafted, it's kind of like, you know, first thing you think about is, you know, your mom is never working again. And, you know, I just looked over at her on the table, and to me, it's the proudest moment because I just knew, you know, from that day on, you know, I take care of her. So. The goal is always never lose the passion of, you know, the game. I just know, I'm passionate about a lot of things outside of basketball, but at the end of the day, this is what I do. This is what I love to do. I never want to lose that passion, so I always want to improve. I want to keep on getting better, but never want to lose the love for the game. I still want to be, you know, able to go to the gym at night, you know, be the first one in the gym. Just know how, you know, how good this game has been to me.
Every single song is going to be live. There's no backing tracks or fancy tricks. It's all with a loop pedal and microphone. We're gonna do it like this, I guess.
I think music should hit you instantly and you should be like, that's great, I love that.
White lips, pale face, breathing in snowflakes, burnt lungs, sour taste.
I saw James Blunt play once and he opened up with You're Beautiful to Prove a Point, and quite a few people left after that, and it was a bit telling. But I think he did it to prove a point, just to be like, if you're here to listen to that song, fuck off.
They say she's in the class 18.
But I don't know if I'd open with my biggest song yet.
Been this way since 18. And I know dark clouds will gather around me.
But as far as visual stuff, because I'm not paying a band every night, I can have some sick video walls and screens and have some really, really good footage to be able to play on that, and the lights. Like, the amount of money that other bands would put into paying session musicians or their bands, or having more crew, or having extra tour buses or extra trucks, I've just put that all into the show, into the lights and into the video screens. So my show can look like a Swedish House Mafia show, but being acoustic. I think at some point I am gonna get a band, but hopefully I've got a long career.
Get By was a record that I sort of future on that record. You know, I begged Kanye for the beat. I'm like, it's my beat, I gotta have it. And let him know I'm missing you. Love is unconditional, even when the condition is critical or the living is miserable. Your position is pivotal. I ain't bullshitting you now. Why would I lie just to get by? Yeah, so the second verse of Get By is a lot more complex than the first verse. At that point, it was a lot of words, changing Little John, Snoop Dogg, were changing the culture with little phrases they were making up. And that's when you sort of transition to hip hop going from being more violent and gangster to being more about we in the club and we popping bottles. So then I talked about what I was rapping about, which was activism, attacking the system of blacks and Latins, and prison numbers have risen, they victims lacking the vision. Just to get by, just to get by, just to get my pen sing like John Lennon. Imagine all the people watch me rock like Paul McCartney from now until the last Beatle drop. For the last line to Get By, I say, like John Lennon, imagine all the people watch me rock like Paul McCartney from now until the last Beatle drop. You know, so that's like a shout out to the Beatles, one of my favorite groups. Paul McCartney, you know, is one of the greatest, and John Lennon are two of the greatest songwriters of all time. So that's what I strive for when I'm writing lyrics, to try to write on their level, but just a hip hop way.
My name is DJ Quake. I'm a producer, a writer, songwriter, rapper. My first album ever I released 20 years ago, called Quick Is the Name, went platinum. So I've been on it ever since I hit the gate. My relationship with Jay-Z was actually, it started professional. We were on this, Jay was touring. He came out, he was on the West Coast, and he did a San Francisco show. You know, I met him. They were like, you know, they knew my work, and I told him I wanted to work with him, like, you know, whatever he needed. Like, if, you know, I'd love to give him, try a West Coast beat on this East Coast swag, you know, maybe, you know, we might make a Reese's peanut butter cup, you know, chocolate and peanut butter, you know, the two different things. Sometimes they just mix. So he gave me the shot. Jigga can pretty much rap to anything because he's just a learned MC. Like, it almost comes kind of a little bit too easy for him. My music, it moves a little bit pocket-wise. It's a little push-pull because it's, you know, I produce like old school. I produce like Curtis Mayfield or Motown. All the things that I like about him, I wanted to bring out with my production. He came into the studio, he gets in his zone really quick, and then he just stand up and go, okay, I got it. Guru pressed record, and he just started, like, from nowhere, he just started vocalizing this record, you know? It's awesome. Like, and that, to me, that's the best way to do it. It's so organic that it kind of just, the records, in his presence, they create themselves.
For me, being in the music industry is one thing, but being amongst your musical peers and the people you admire is like walking through like the halls of the Louvre. You know, you just get to see all this incredible art like everywhere. And working with Jay, it was just kind of like, he takes the craft seriously. Like, and so when you find other people that see the same values as you do in your music, you guys tend to be cool. And for this last album, even though I know we're talking about the Black Album, that's where Oceans came from. I just wanted to see him do that. But this time I chose darker colors with the music. That's more like Concord blues and like dark greens. because I wanted that like night sky. So when he rhymed, the shit was just vivid, and it's just like his voice would come through like lightning. You got to see this guy listening to the music, mumbling to himself, and then, you know, he goes into the booth. It sounds a lot like the Oracle of Delphi's process. High as, you know, an eagle's ass. She's mumbling shit, and the next thing you know, she has a prophecy. I mean, it's a little crazy. The Black album was appropriately named because he blacked.
Let's give a warm New York welcome for Quadrant!
He invited me to the studio one day, and I sang one of his songs, and we just had like chemistry.
And then obviously, Coke was an amazing singer, so that already there makes it very different.
And I get so nervous before I perform, and you know, it's just like I release the performance, and now I'm just like chill and happy. You know what I mean.
Rocking the game.
Came to Compton to accomplish one thing, reign supreme, raise a king.
Yeah, it's cool for me to work. I've been taking a break for like 23 years, relaxing. You know, so now it's time for me to man up and you know, really do what I plan on doing.
I never went to the school, but I used to go up there sometime and just woo. You know, I seen him around all the time, and then one day, they brought him to the studio. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? We met, and then that's how I knew he was real, like, this dude was like gifted. It was taking me a minute to write my verse. And it just took this dude like 5 minutes. He was like, I'm ready for my verse. He's like, I'm ready. And I'm like, where your pen and paper?
My name is Kendrick Lamar. My words like a sword in the hands of a Spartan marching on Rosecrans in Compton. You can't cause conflict or corrupt my spirit. I'm on point like Pyrrhic. I've been dead and gone before you get near it. Ooh-wee. That boy remind me of a young Martin Luther, the way he beats up troopers and ride up shooters like Malcolm X did. I stand for what I believe in. As family, God, and honor. From Chicago, my daddy and my mom.
You know what I'm saying? The revolver spinning. Like it was like a creepy beat. Like it wasn't tight. But I thought it was tight at the time. But anyway, I go in there, I rap. Whatever, weak verse. I mean, we was all pretty much weak then, but I was real weak.
Say what? So I can fucking damn, I feel amazing. Damn, I'm in a matrix. Mine is living on cloud nine. Nine is still on vacation. Start up that Maserati and popping pills in the lobby. Crazy, don't find
I look back on my childhood and I feel like I mean the TRL age, the MTV generation was...
Had that, like he didn't have no pen, no pad, or nothing.
Before I met J-Rock and K-Dot, I thought I was just the best rapper in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and when I step into the studio and I see that they're working on songs like, you know, arranging music, you know, just it wasn't just all about just the rhyming, which were, you know, where I was at the time. You know, it really was a humbling experience.
He brought me over one day. beat was on, the episode, J-Rock was there. He was like, you wanna rap to this? I was like, yeah, I'll rap to it. It was like the dumbest beat ever. It was just like gunshots, like pow.